Hi, this is Cajun. It's time for our weekly conference call. When we look at what's happening through the eyes of someone that is moving money around in the markets, whether you're a trader, investor, or manager of some kind of fund, we build tools to help people move money in the markets, crypto markets and the traditionals. One of the most important indicators is the Dow. One of the most important indicators of what's happening around the world. The Dow has been used as a global economic and worldwide indicator of stability for some time. You can read a book by the name of Message of the Markets, written by Ron and Sonia. It's actually a pretty good book. It talks about how the Dow, as a predictor or a signal, has a message, or the message of the markets is represented by the predictive ability of the Dow. The markets tend to react before anything else. That's one of the reasons. Well, right now, based on what's happening globally, we don't see a message from the markets. We just see uncertainty, and this is unprecedented uncertainty. And this is what happens when you have a series of unfortunate global events occur. So these are no doubt rough seas, but filled with new opportunities for the prepared, and that's what we're maintaining. Preparedness, to make sure that we can make it through and capitalize. And focus on why we're here. So on the industry side, that's pretty much all the commentary we have for what's happening around the world, so that we can remain as neutral as possible as well. Now, on the industry side, there seems to be unsupervised learning articles coming out. And if you don't know what unsupervised learning is, it would be an important topic to look up related to what we do technically, algorithmically, and on the data set side, which means how we generate money. So if you want to know about how we generate revenue, it would be important to understand what unsupervised learning is. It is becoming a larger field. It represents data that's, well, let's not get into the details on this right now. We'll fill everyone in later on that. Other industry news includes OpenAI's GPT-3 model, language model, coming out. And why is that relevant? Well, if there are any NLP heads in here, you'll recognize that this new language model has beaten several benchmarks. It's a way for a machine to be able to do anything from summarization to predict text and so forth, write its own stories. And we leverage systems like that because systems like that make up and operate based on Vectorspace. Now, overall, we are just looking at another new trend based on global events, but it's impacted our industry a bit here, and that is in a positive way as well. And that's that more data is needed for better decision-making ability, better predictive ability. And this only happens with refined data sets. So as the world needs more data, we grow as a company. On the crypto side, BTC broke through 10K. That's good news for everyone. And again, global events seem to be connecting to just about every part of finance and capitalism here. So it looks like cash is moving back into crypto, maybe as some kind of safe haven. We'll see. Andreessen Horowitz's Katie Huan says more Libra-like crypto projects are to follow. And in 2030, everything will be digital. That's their prediction. Always interesting to see what Andreessen Horowitz has to say about the crypto markets because they are fully invested. On the engineering side, we've got Mike, Radek, Magnus, Vihar, and Arena, our ML model builder, hard at work, doing something that's never been done before in the NLP and NLU and dataset space. Something that can't easily be duplicated, and it is this pipeline that we've been building. We've got most of it automated, but it allows you to plug in various models, and that's what our engineers and data scientists are working on right now. the ability to plug in all kinds of models. OpenAI's GPT-3 model, that's just one of them. There are many other models like Word2Vec, Glovi, Fastex, Elmo, BERT. Some of you who are into NLP would recognize those. Those are the kinds of models that we use. Currently, we're going to be adding models and, of course, leveraging our experimental models. We're doing a few other things technically and on the engineering side. I'm not going to go into detail here so we can quicken this call up, but we are preparing for a back test related to the data sets we generate for short baskets, for trading short side baskets. We are continuing to work on the LCX integration. We've got some things to do on our side, so we'll be in communication with LCX this week. We also have a new effort that some of the engineers will be helping out with, and that will be related to marketing and some of the business cases related to what we're doing. That includes providing updates to dataset aggregators, dataset vendors, and maintaining technical lines of communication with their technical leads. And that's just how we scale and grow. On the product side, we're hiring a few more people on a part-time basis, and we're watching our capital as well. And we have a few volunteers, we have a few interns, and we have some people willing to do things others are not, like product management, for example, and project management. So we have someone that is willing to help with that, so that's going to make things more efficient for us. On the customers, partners, and collaborators side, we had Colgate Palmolive sign up, I think it was yesterday, or actually a couple of days ago, sorry. Colgate Palmolive, in case you haven't heard of them, they are a household name. They trade on NYSE at $72 a share. They're worth about $62 billion in market cap. And most people know who Colgate Palmolive is. And we just have them signing up for dataset requests. We'll see where it goes in terms of the trial agreement or any feasibility studies or however they'd like to work the agreement out. And we'll have updates on that next week. We have also had EDF, this is France's largest electricity provider, largest utility company. In 2009, EDF was the world's largest producer of electricity. In 2011, it produced 22% of the European Union's electricity, primarily for nuclear power. So it's a very big energy company. And this is the first time we've been approached by a company outside the financial market sector and outside the life sciences industry. Now, Colgate Palmolive, along with a few life sciences companies and anonymous groups, are requesting data sets related to chemicals. So we are also in the chemical industry, and new industries will continue to open up for us here because data sets apply to every industry. Anytime you can make an observation, that is a piece of data. When you organize that data, it becomes a data set. If it has rows and columns, even better. Every company needs to make better predictions, and this is why we have companies large and small coming to us looking to find what kind of data set solutions they can put in place, because the data set is the fuel, the gas, but it's also the pain point for a lot of companies. That's why we're here. On customers, partners, and collaborators, S&P Global, that's in the pipeline in terms of getting agreements signed and in terms of them listing us, communicating to the public about us. We're waiting to hear back from them. It's been a few days and it's been a long weekend for everyone, so we're going to wait to hear from them. We'll be patient and move at their pace. We'll speed it up as much as we can, of course. LCX is still in process, and we'll provide updates later on that. I know I mentioned the LCX integration on the engineering side. That's actually a separate issue from any kind of agreements and communication to the public jointly. On the marketing side, we're not really going to be doing too much marketing based on the number of signups we have coming in every day and based on the profiles, the high profile companies we have coming to us from various industries. The reason for that is we have to be on parity with available engineering resources. If we don't have enough engineering resources, we're not going to keep up with customer demand or customizations or requests that come from customers. Fulfillment dates will drag behind. So we're trying to make sure that we don't take on too many customers at once. That's all we're doing now, and that is a good problem to have. On the IR and PR side, this is all just a matter of timing at this point. We'll be involving GEM. GEM is our agency in New York, and they will probably take about a week to prepare a PR strategy and plan based on whether or not we have S&P Global come first, or Amazon, or New Data, or even IBM, or Microsoft, or Bloomberg's Alternative Data Division, or UBS's, Union Bank of Switzerland's, Evidence Lab. So we will see. We've got whoever responds first, basically, at this point, and is ready to go with the PR, then we enlist Jim. They wrap a strategy around it, and the way that a professional PR firm works is very complicated. They have their own methods, but it involves a lot of outreach and personal relationships and connections to anyone from a blogger all the way up to people that write for the Wall Street Journal. We have questions from the community, and these questions were organized by Tesher, or Triggsy07. The first question relates to a statement that I made. Only team members and certain partners are locked or vested. That amount is less than 25 million. We'll produce an updated report on team member and partner holdings. The question is, has this report been shared by the team? No, it has not, but we will be sharing it. It's not a super priority for us right now to produce those kinds of reports, but we will after we execute on a few issues related to revenue. And I'd say give us about a week on that, or ask us for another update next week or later this week. How do the collaborations with Microsoft, Amazon, etc. work? So for Amazon and Microsoft, it's different than it is for Bloomberg's Alternative Data Division or S&P Global. Microsoft and Amazon are also different from one another in their dataset offerings. One has a more advanced service, or you might say just more mature service. They've been around a while longer, and that's Amazon. Amazon's AWS dataset distribution point. And then you've got Microsoft with a different kind of customer base and certainly a different kind of customer culture. And that's a really big difference between certain organizations. On the Amazon side, we have got the life sciences and COVID-19 and all infectious disease threats. In terms of building data sets and being able to monitor these. The data sets that Amazon has access to and wants us to provide additional information, but also wants to fill it. They want to group us with a few other companies that they're going to talk about related to releasing new data sets. So we're just working with them on their timing there. But they will have a life sciences focus. That's my point. Microsoft will have more of a general focus for absolutely any potential customer in the world. Microsoft's mandate inside really is to make sure that your group is helping the company grow, sustain itself, produce revenue. Microsoft doesn't have a problem with that, but there are groups that want lighthouse wins and so forth. and we can help with that. Now, Microsoft also has an investment arm. They have several different ways they invest in companies, and we'll be pursuing that route. We'll also be working directly with their PR team, which we've done in the past, to get a PR approved that we would issue and that they would separately either issue or, more likely, simply write about along with other companies in one of their releases, one of their larger press releases or case studies. Both companies want to do case studies on us, by the way. And when a company like this does a case study on you, it's pretty thorough and in-depth. It would be just as thorough, if not more, than the Elastic article we produced. So it would attract customers to both Microsoft and ourselves. On the Amazon side, it would do the same thing. And it's important to remember that another goal or mandate that Microsoft and Amazon have, all the way from the top, from their AI divisions, is to make sure that customers have access to good data sets that they can test out their AI platforms with. So Amazon has an AI platform. They have AI products and services, lots of them. And in order to convert a new customer into using their products and services, they need data sets. And they need interesting data sets. And that's what we have. And just as Microsoft, Amazon has investment divisions, and we will be pursuing those, but at the right time. The reason for that is because we believe that based on the fact that we've executed on this in the past and know how to navigate our way around large corps, because we've run groups inside large corps, we're pretty comfortable with being able to, you might say, grow like a good bacteria inside large corps. What is the current state of revenue generation for VectorspaceAI? For example, no revenue generation, limited revenue generation, etc. We are revenue positive, and we are not going to release any numbers on revenue until they look pretty good. Right now, they're low. We're just starting out, and we're watching them grow. And this is how it starts and happens. We're after a hockey stick curve. Our goal is an exponential growth curve in revenue, and so far, things are looking good. On the May 11th conference call, it was briefly mentioned that KPIs would be communicated to the public. Is there any more information on these statistics that can be mentioned? Yes, we do have statistics now. We have data we're collecting related to signups and inquiries. Large and small companies, who they are, individuals, size of deals, size of customizations, and so forth. We've also got onboarding metrics, tiered service levels, which customers are signing up. Most are signing up for the free tiered level so they can try things out. Number of available data sets. How many data sets are we producing every day? How many different kinds of data sets have we produced in one particular industry? That's a very important metric. How much use does a data set give or provide? How useful is it? Or useful defined by how much revenue it's generating, or alpha it's protecting or generating, or how much signal it's generating, but usually it's going to be revenue for us. A single data set might not generate any revenue, but might provide people with the ability to come up with new ideas for how they might look at their data, and then request data sources and data sets and a data set design from us that would accommodate them. So it's a form of advertisement. The important part is that these metrics are now being generated, measured, and optimized. From another community member, our main so this is me, this is my statement, and it'll be followed by a question from the community. Our main concern is that the arb between books at this point is the arb between books. We're looking at timing of communication to the public from either Amazon, Microsoft, or Bloomberg at this point. After that, we reopen our dialogue with Kraken and possibly other exchanges in Europe. The question is, can you provide a background on the team's exchange strategy and what the latest is on listing with Kraken? Is there a firm time frame for the proceeding? PR by Microsoft, Amazon, Bloomberg will be published. Okay, so those are 2 questions. The answer to the first question, can you provide a background on the team's exchange strategy? We absolutely can. The strategy is revenue. How many crypto companies are generating revenue outside of exchanges right now? How many have the potential of generating significant revenue? How many are trading at their 52-week low right now? How many have deals on the table like we do? We want to be able to first execute on revenue, be able to announce to the world, which we are planning to do, that we are revenue positive. We also want to have S&P Global, Bloomberg's alternative data division, Amazon, Microsoft, maybe one or two of those deals. Then we go to the exchange. We've got revenue and we've got big deals that have the potential of generating millions a month for us. And we are participating in helping find a solution for infectious disease threats. And we don't have to be doing that. We should be, and we are. But it would be nice to be able to have an exchange recognize us for that too. We in fact encourage everyone to focus on revenue because uplistings will follow all the way to the top. Now, the second question was, is there a more firm time frame for which the preceding PR by Microsoft? Okay, so time frames are not up to us. Time frames are up to our customers. And we are also interested in making sure we do a very good job at timing events that happen inside this company. There are a lot of random and you might say unplanned events that are impacting things outside of our company, but we want to have impeccable timing when it comes to landing customers. We don't want to take on too many customers right now. And S&P Global, for example, represents thousands of customers. Bloomberg's alternative data division, thousands of customers. Maybe hundreds of thousands. Amazon, hundreds of thousands. Let's just say thousands. New Data, 70 hedge funds. Microsoft, hundreds of thousands. Timing these relationships and the resulting customer uptake is important. We've got to coordinate it with available engineering resources. And that's what we're doing. And everything is working out just fine. This is a brick-by-brick process. We'll remind everybody of that as well. And if we did not do this brick by brick, we wouldn't be here today. Now, typically we've been sharing dataset insights. We've had a little section and have talked about dataset insights on these calls. I'm not going to do that right now. We'll do that next week. We'll talk about how clusters are generated, the anatomy of an event or a special situation, news articles, analyzing news articles describing drug discovery and extracting specific terms and then generating a basket. We'll talk about those things next week. We have a lot to digest already, and I think we will save that. We'll conclude with strategy, and part of our strategy is to showcase to the world how our coronavirus basket did, how our COVID-19 smart basket did in terms of performance. We're working that out right now. We're not cherry picking. We're simply running a few back tests and making sure we've got everything perfectly in alignment. You never want to publish a result, especially when it comes to financial returns, and be wrong. We're going to have a dataset contest, a dataset design contest. Dataset designs involve choosing your data sources, then choosing your models, and then understanding what you want positioned in your rows, what you want your rows to be, and what you want your columns to be. For example, your rows can be drug compounds, and your columns can be publicly traded pharmaceutical companies. Or your rows can be chemicals, and your columns can be chocolate chip cookies types. It's really up to the designer in terms of how valuable they make a data set. If you're a data set designer, which any community member can participate in designing data sets, that's why we're opening it up as a contest. We'll have 3 winners. The top will win VXV and participate in any return in revenue on that data set. So if you design a very nice data set, nice defined by how much revenue it generates, then you can participate in that revenue and win VXV at the same time. This is how we're going to organize this, because designing of data sets is very important. The world needs more of them, and if you can think of a very interesting, very powerful data set, it will change the world. We're going to maintain a focus on revenue growth, and despite all the turmoil in the world, we have got one of the most positive events unfolding before our eyes in VectorspaceAI and VXV. So stay tuned and stay safe. We will see you next week on the conference call. Otherwise, we will see you online. This is a pre-recorded call, so if you have any questions, please send them online to Tesher, and he'll go ahead and record them for next week. Thanks for joining. Bye.